Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to rah. Join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny, Johnny Woodard, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver adjacent studios. That's right. Go to SamTripoli.gold to use the promo code Tinfoil, and you can get in on the precious metals game. Guys, we have a banger of the episode on here. We have the one and only Jamie Hanshaw. She comes on and just annihilates, breaking down the dark side of Beyonce. It's a great episode, an all-timer. Everything you thought about Beyonce is true. Everything you thought about Jay-Z is true, and she brings the receipts. It's a great episode. Guys, real quick, go to SamTripoli.com. Check out my special. It helped me get back some, help me pay off this special, and then go to my events. And Tulsa on the 11th through the 16th of November. Going to be in Tampa Bay, going to be in Cancun, Mexico. And just enjoy this episode. Very excited to have this next guest on. I believe she's been on before. I know she's been on Union on the Unwanted. She's on Rockfin. She does it all. She's got podcasts. She's got books. She does deep research, and we're very excited to have her on. Please welcome to the show, Jamie Hanshaw. How are you, Jamie?
I'm great. I'm psyched to be here. I'm really excited.
We are very excited to have you on. For those who may not, I believe, have you been on the show? I think you came on before.
I came on with Jay and Isaac Weishaupt.
One of those like Megatrons where we put together
Brittany, I think.
Yeah, we put together a whole banger group of people. So, very excited to have you on. For those who may not be familiar with you and your last appearance on here, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
I am a well-seasoned tinfoil hat. I'm a generational weirdo. My parents were tinfoil hats, so I grew up with lots of different ideas about the world. I was homeschooled. I started my media debut in 2008 with the election of Obama when we had a public access show in Austin, Texas. So I've been doing this at least for that long. I have 3 books called Weird Stuff, Operation Cultural Creation, and those are about propaganda in films, movies, specifically driven towards children and teenagers. And so we have tracked high-profile rituals for 10, 15 years, and I brought you something cool today. It's kind of a remix of all my 3 books and the current project I'm working on called The All-Seeing AI.
Well, these are a few of my favorite things. All the stuff you listed, I really enjoyed talking about, so I'm excited for the episode. It's very weird. I'm in this kind of weird place in my life where, it's like I feel bad sometimes when I discuss certain topics because I know it just, just drives people nuts. But then sometimes I think they need to be driven nuts because if they're allowed to sit in a numb, comfortable place of lies, then we allow dark forces to gain traction in our lives. One of those topics that is always really kind of crazy to talk about because how revered he is Obama and the truth about Obama and it's just like there's just a segment of society. I call it the Hollywood comedy scene. No, or just like everybody that is just when you just start to bring up all this information about Obama, they shut down, they get angry, they just start seeing you as toxic and racist and homophobic. And I'm trying to work on a bit right now about how like these words have lost all their power. Like to call somebody a fascist used to mean like you were here to like destroy my ability to make a living. Now it's just your dad that watches Fox News. That's all it is, right? And you know, racist, homophobic, misogynist. It's almost like it's like being called. It's an honor to be called those words at some point by the annoying people who are saying them. I shared this video about this guy broke down Obama's birth certificate. And I didn't think like nothing, very little that I ever do on the internet goes big, regardless of whether it's shadow banning or just not good enough to go viral, one or the other. But this one for me went viral. It's almost at 700,000 views on Twitter, and it's just breaking down about how his birth certificate isn't real. Should I feel bad about sharing that? Should I feel weird about sharing that?
No, absolutely not. You shouldn't. And I've ruined my share of dinner parties just by being weird. And I try to do it as gently as possible and as logical as possible. And that's why I wrote these books focusing on media, because that was one point of entry that you could get people interested in. So back in like 2008 to 2015, pop culture was huge. Beyonce was huge. Britney was, she was a little bit past that, but there was definitely something cooking in the people that were becoming big at the time. And you mentioned Obama, and those were actually very good friends with Jay-Z and Beyonce. So the reason I wanted to focus on her and them today was because I noticed on TikTok this week, some things were popping off. So Diddy, right? That's the big story. And that's why we don't need to be embarrassed talking about these things anymore, because I've been vindicated time after time after time. Right? I never miss. I'm not wrong. I told people in October of 2019, I said, Bill Gates wants to kill everybody, and they're going to do it to have vaccine passports and no bodily autonomy anymore. And people like, oh, that's crazy. And then what happened? 3 months later, COVID, vaccines. So I'm like, I'm never going to feel stupid again, because the people that call me crazy, the people that disregarded me, the people that wouldn't listen, they're literally dying of cancer right now because of these vaccines.
I agree with you, man. I agree. I forget what her name was. She was that really beautiful blonde woman who kind of made herself the face of sex trafficking. And then I forget, it was like over either last summer or the summer before that. Then it turned out that none of that stuff was real. And she was lying. And for me, because that fit into stories that we have talked about on the show before, I was very interested in helping her get her message out. But later on, when I realized that she was lying about what went on, like, I want to know that. I want to know who is telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. I do not understand why some of the most intelligent people I know in my life, I've worked with, I considered friends, even though they might think I'm a crazy person right now, but I consider them friends, are fine with being lied to. And we've just gotten to this point where lying is no longer a social taboo. There was a time, if you got caught lying, you got just ran out of town. Now it's like it just clicks and views or power positions or influence. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. So when I post that thing about Obama, and you know, it's like I kind of got, I don't know if I got in trouble on Jimmy Dore way back in the day, but there was some comments in the comments section because I called Obama Chocolate Jesus, and everyone got like kind of weirded out. And you just think about that back in the day. Now I think people would be way more excited about it and the astroturfing of Barack Obama and calling it out.
Well, this was so interesting because he was one of the first characters that he just got carte blanche to do anything he wanted. And if you had any critical thinking or pushback whatsoever, you were a racist automatically. Right?
Yeah.
So they try to put these people in positions that you cannot argue with, or you're going to be stigmatized as some kind of bigot. right?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, yeah, again, I'm trying to work on that bit where it's like, you know, it used to be if you got called a racist because you said negative things about people's skin color. Now it's because you think Michelle Obama's got a dick. You know, it just
I've
like doesn't even
always said that.
right. It's like it's so crazy to me that you know
Not
this is
just
where we're at.
not just her, him, but I'm thinking like maybe Barbara Bush is not even. Have you seen old
That is a
pictures?
very aggressive face. That's a very aggressive face.
Like even the young ones. I mean, that's a dude,
Like
right?
Are
Bridget
you talking
McClung?
about the daughter, the
No,
granddaughters?
I'm talking about George Bush Sr.'s
Younger
wife.
photos
Yes.
of her. She means
Yes.
when she's young.
Yes.
Yeah. So go look up some stock photos of old Barbara and tell me that's a woman.
Yeah,
And
for
that's what
sure.
we're going to get into heavy today is the transgenderism, the worshiping of the homosexual lifestyle, the putting Black people above and beyond everything else, right?
Yeah.
And the
Culture, a
need
lot of
of
cultural Marxism.
yes. So what kind of set this off and made me want to reorganize a lot of this information was I saw on TikTok, lots of stuff is going on right now on TikTok. So you've got the tunnels, the LA tunnels. Have you heard of that one?
Oh yeah, we just had a guy come
Okay.
on and tell us all. Oh,
Right.
well, okay. Yeah. Do you know what she's talking about? She's talking about Stephen Randolph's video, which is
Yeah.
an interesting video because I do believe there are tunnels below Los Angeles. I really do believe that there are tunnels. I think that's why they don't ever. That's why I really do believe that they don't want to build a subway system because they already have all these tunnels all set up.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what I thought though. As soon as I saw that seemed like acting to me in that video. Both those people, I thought Steve was acting.
Johnny, he is
together.
our friend, and we
I
will
know,
always
but-
support him.
Yeah, and I support him too. Hey, get it, but I think they're having a laugh.
But I do believe the essence of it is real, and that there are tunnels below
Yes.
LA.
But even the metaphorically, these people get access to places and things that your average person
Absolutely.
doesn't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I saw that somebody put a compilation of clips together. So every time someone wins some kind of music award, they venerate Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
positing that maybe they're scared for their life for getting more attention than the queen bee, right? And they
For
were even
beating Beyonce, right?
right. And they were saying that maybe Kanye saved Taylor Swift from some kind of negative fate because she won that night instead of Beyonce. So this was all going on this week. And I was like, holy crap, I have a whole chapter in one of my books on Beyonce. I have 19 pages of notes that didn't make it into that book. So
Ooh,
I
let's
have-
go.
Yes.
Let's go.
I have a 4-hour live stream that I did last year when she came out with her Renaissance movie stream, her concert. So we were just all Beyonce last year. And so I wanted to go back over this because I think it's going to blow your mind. I think you're going to
I
get
am
a lot out
so
of it.
I am so excited.
Okay, I've got all of these books too we're going to like talk about. So we're going to Hogwarts. Are you ready? Put your
Let's go.
sorting hat on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Because that's my background is occult magic, right? And we were tracking this back in the early 2000s and 2010s that Madonna was some kind of high priestess in this industry, right? So you remember when she was on the VMAs and she comes down with the Masonic top hat and she gives a kiss to Britney Spears and a kiss to Christina Aguilera. She's passing on some kind of occult priestess power in ritual. And then something shifted in the early 2000s where this was passed on to Beyonce. And there was even a Saturday Night Live skit at this time called The Bagency, which was featuring men in black type agents who were dedicated to eradicating any kind of dissent about Beyonce on the internet, right? So here we are talking about people that you can't talk negatively about, right? Just like Obama. And then some other weird stuff happened just as Beyonce was becoming super popular. Joan Rivers, do you remember when she died?
Yeah.
Yes.
She said that Obama was
gay.
gay
Was a
and
pussy.
that Michelle was a Trany.
You can say tranny.
Oh, I can? Okay.
Yeah.
So she died from mysterious it was an operation that went bad, right?
That's what they said.
And I think she actually happened to pass on Beyonce's birthday. And then Aaliyah, who was another girl in that circle with Jay-Z and them, she actually dated Jay-Z for a while. She was becoming super popular. And
Wasn't she underage at one point?
Yeah, didn't he?
Aaliyah?
Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like hooking up with her when she was underage.
Right. So then you have
Unbelievable.
Aaliyah, and she died tragically at a young age in a questionable plane crash, right? And then you have Lisa Left Eye. So Destiny's Child was actually on tour with TLC before Destiny's Child became a huge thing. And Lisa Left Eye, there's a whole documentary about when she went down to South America. She was trying to get away from a lot of stuff. She was trying to like decompress and figure out what's happening to her. She admitted she had like at least 3 different personalities going on. And this is something that we're tracking through the pop culture milieu too, is monarch mind control, right? So you're going to have multiple personalities. You're going to have monarch butterfly symbolism. We just saw the movie Smile last night, Smile 2 in the theaters.
Yeah.
This is all straight monarch mind control, demon possession, and even to the details of her costume as she's disassociating on stage is like a monarch butterfly, right? In the movie The Smile, right?
Jeez. It's
So
crazy to me. And that whole marketing scheme was completely built off of Jack Nicholson's smile in The Shining. Did you notice that? They made it look exactly like that. Like,
oh,
In
really?
the first movie too, yeah, it was just his smile when he's looking out the window. You know,
yeah, 100%. It's so crazy. I wonder if that's the genesis of the movie idea. Like, oh, dude, let's do that. But yeah, you're totally right about all that stuff. Not to get too far off of away from the Beyonce's rise. It's like, you know, they kind of came out of nowhere. And what was really weird is because when they started doing solo events, there was another girl in the band, and her album did actually, like, her first hit did bigger numbers than Beyonce's. I remember watching it going, whoa, dude, they didn't expect that. No, what's the other girl's name?
There's Kelly, Michelle, and Beyonce and
Yeah,
Destiny's Child.
Kelly's did better. Just
So,
like
yeah.
kind of when
Kelly Rowland.
Justin, yeah, Kelly, just like kind of like when Justin Timberlake went solo and all the guys in the band, and then the J, what's the other guy's name? Is it JT or I forget what it is. The other guy's name.
Of
He put out,
NSYNC, yeah.
yeah, he put out an album that did. He put out a song that did better than Justin Timberlake's. I remember, and that, like, you could tell that they weren't the ones that the industry wanted to blow up. And it's like,
Yes.
why do these specific people in this group become the ones that they get pushed? What makes them different than everybody else?
In my opinion, certain people were groomed from childhood to enter into this industry, and they have gone through the specific initiations and monarch programs and torture and just all the worst things you can think of. So a lot of these kids actually came out from the Mouseketeers, right? The Disney, you
Yes.
got Ryan Gosling, Britney, Christina,
Halo.
Justin Timberlake. So Disney is really heavily wrapped up into this, and I have a whole other book just on Disney alone. But yeah, so Beyonce's childhood was very much like Michael Jackson in a way that her father was the one who was driving this success, or, you know, this hunger to be the best or be Queen Bee or whatever this is going to be. Just like Michael Jackson, it says of her childhood, she was very shy. She didn't want to perform, but she was pushed into it because she had this natural talent and she wanted to please people. So if you look at old interviews of Beyonce, she's very humble. She's very sweet. She's very Southern. She's very ladylike. You know, she's nothing like stick my cherry in your face on stage in an interview, or what is that song? Tear that cherry out. We'll get there. Anyway, so I think a lot of these kids, especially the ones that made it to mega stardom, were groomed to be that way, and especially her to be a new icon of feminism, and not just feminism, but like feminism empowerment for Black women, right? So you have independent woman, you have survivor, you have single ladies, you have what is ladies leave your man at home. Love is jumping, jumping. So all of these songs about being single, being independent, and and then when you watch later on in the career, when she gets with Michelle Obama and all that, she's heralded as like this paragon of the perfect woman and the idol for all little girls to look up to, even though she's, you know, showing her cooch on stage.
Yeah, and that kind of, to me, gets into also the role of the Kardashians, the role of MTV's like 17 and Pregnant, like this constant push to push women making bad decisions on society as a monkey see, monkey do type thing for young girls who don't have the resources to cover up their mistakes like the Kardashians could, or Beyonce could, or any of that stuff. So it's like there's been, like, you know, obviously I make jokes about repealing the 19th Amendment. I do not want to repeal the 19th Amendment, but if they did, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't be sad. I'd just be like, oh, wow.
The only way to
Sounds
make
like
that
things are going to get a
fair,
whole lot better around here.
well, to be fair, if women can't vote, they shouldn't have to pay taxes.
Dude, deal.
Hey.
100%.
Hey, wait a minute. Can I give up my vote? Because I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, you should. Everybody should. Everybody should be able to be like, I agree to not vote, and I will let you govern me. However, if I don't have to pay taxes, bang,
Exactly.
dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that as much as I joke about, you know, women driving me nuts, I do feel like there is a war on their soul and their spirit and their mind at all times.
Oh, definitely. And we're going to get into that, and I'll explain everything you just said in 1 second.
Hey guys, the crypto market is getting crazy, dude. Bitcoin's almost over 70,000. You got to look into the crypto market, and there's no better person than James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. He will take you through it. Has it pissed you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for a decade and you still have done nothing about it? It makes sense. Crypto's complicated and really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just got to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. Just simply copy along. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 54,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 into each, it went on to be well worth $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said to buy it, okay? That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify for yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who have copied James, then pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I said, but my viewers will get a full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, but there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of it? Guys, don't waste your time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. Guys, it's ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you. Copymycrypto.com/TFH. Hey guys, listen, we're getting closer to November 5th. Remember the 5th of November, okay? Is this election close? Who do you trust? The polls, the talking heads, the podcasters. You know who I trust? The traders. That's who I trust. The traders are the best at it, and there's no better place to find out what the traders are thinking than Kelshi. Now, Johnny's done it. I've done it. We've all done it. We've done some. You can go in there and actually place some trades on who do you think's going to win, who do you think's going to lose, right, Johnny? I mean, tell us about Kelshi, Johnny.
Well, Kalshi, I mean, it's the first place that you can trade on the election in 100 years. The first place to legally trade on the election in 100 years. You can also exchange, trade, bet on any event. I mean, they have look at, you got their website pulled up actually. What's some of the stuff there? They have political stuff, but if you go down, they have like what's going to be the Rotten Tomatoes score of the next season of The Witcher. You know, I mean,
whoa, really?
Dude,
you can bet on all this, dude. This is what we're talking about. This is the action daddy's looking for. I love Kelshi and I love the traders.
Elon Musk nominated to the cabinet.
Oh, dude, that'd be the best, dude. Kelshi has already facilitated over 1 billion in trades. The election markets are now live to trade, and you could sign up at Kelshi, which is KALSHI.com/TFH. And the first 500 traders who deposit $50 will get free $20 credit. Come on, dude. 50 for 20? Let's go, bro.
Let's go.
That's the jam. Get in on the trade action on everything and anything. Go check out Kelshi.com/TFH.
Let's talk about how all of these girls have like a fall. Like they are child stars. You know, you've got Hannah Montana, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears. And they do bubblegum pop. They do movies for young girls. They sell wigs and, you know, teeny bop clothes. And then as soon as they hit a certain age, 18 or whatever, and they be like, I want to do my own thing, which is be devilish, like straight to hell, straight to fallen angel symbolism, black, BDSM, like demonic.
How about that JoJo?
JoJo Siwa. Yeah.
Have you seen? Oh my God, she is the worst version of it. The worst version of it. Like she was just like, she started like real quick, like I'm a lesbian, and then she's just into this.
Bucks.
And it's so clanky, like everything else that maybe like Miley Cyrus does, or there seems to be a slickness to it. For some reason, JoJo's is so clanky. It's like, it just doesn't work. I mean, I'm not her audience, but I've seen this game before and it was done so much better. And this one just seems super clanky, uncomfortable.
Right. So you're taking these girls with a huge fan base of young kids, and as soon as they become an adult, then it's like the Lil Nas X stripper pole to hell grinding on Satan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, in early interviews, she was talking about being humble. She's talking about being responsible. She's talking about going to church. On their Destiny's Child album, she's singing Jesus Loves Me, literally, right? And then they get involved with Jay-Z. So when Crazy in Love came out, this is where you get Beyonce's first kind of split from the innocent pop stuff to more hardcore gangster rap and sexualization, right? So when they're singing Crazy in Love, they're Bonnie and Clyde. Beyonce actually said this is when Sasha Fierce was born during Crazy in Love.
Yeah.
And there's a scene, well, if you remember that video, it's such a classic. So she comes out and she's dressed in like a t-shirt and jeans, you know, typical American girl streetwear, right? And she's doing her song, and then during the course of the story of the video, she hooks up with Jay-Z and she explodes in a car, right? She dies in a fireball and comes out young B, and now she's in furs, she's in heels, it's nighttime, she's dancing with Jay-Z. She's part of this gangster rap family now, and she's Sasha Fierce, and he refers to her as young B. So like a phoenix, right? So that's big in esoterica, phoenix symbolism. She is born from the flames of this car, and she comes out with this album, I Am ... Sasha Fierce, right? And so there's a couple esoteric things going on in here. So I am is another way that God describes himself in the Bible, right? I am that I am. And then when she's saying Sasha Fierce, she is in her new alter personality, which is the first hallmark of Monarch Mind Control. And the theme of the album was the duality between the good Beyonce and the bad Sasha Fierce. Remember, back in the day, it was her posing with Baphomet on a motorcycle, her doing this pose with the horns. Classic tinfoil hats will totally remember this imagery from her album. And so it's all Christian imagery versus devilish imagery. The first side had like Ave Maria on it, it had Halo on it. And the other side, the Sasha Fierce side, has this song called Sweet Dreams, which we're going to talk about in a second. And the song Video Phone with Lady Gaga about disassociation. And Lady Gaga is another huge person with a lot of monarch symbolism around them also. So this song Sweet Dreams is like, you could be my sweet dream or beautiful nightmare. And so this is about the devil actually coming to her at night in her sleep and doing things. And this is, so you've all heard about the OTO, right?
Yes.
The Ordo Templi Orientis. And so they are the sex magic cult who thinks that they have the key to all Masonic and Hermetic and all magic, which is just sex magic.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Is Hermetics Satanism? Because Hermes is the son of Nimrod, right? So like I used to be like, oh dude, the Hermetic principles, they're kind of like laying the ground for the laws of physics. They harden the Hermetic principles. You follow those, it's kind of how you deal with the energy. Yeah. But now I'm finding out that Hermes is the son of Nimrod, who some people believe is the Antichrist or something like that. Is the Hermetic principles bad? Is Hermes bad?
Let me tell you something. When I first started learning magic, I had access to a giant, like very antique magic library, and I just read all the books I could. And at the same time, I was reading a lot of conspiracy books too. So I was reading Fritz Springmeier, I was reading about trauma-based mind control. I was reading about satanic ritual abuse. We were looking into, like the daycares and all of that. So I'm like, they're using elements of magic in these awful satanic rituals that are also linked to the military. So this is all getting very crazy. And I thought in my head, like, there's good people and bad people, and good people can use these magical techniques for good. And that's white magic. And that's, the white witch or whatever. And then I was like, people with bad intentions can use this as a tool for bad things. But the more I learned and going through life, you figure out really quick what helps you in life and what doesn't. Okay, when you cut, like, the shit hits the fan and you can't pay rent and you're depressed and you don't want to get out of bed and like all of this stuff. Yeah. None of these hermetic principles are helping me. They don't make me want to continue living. And that's kind of the trap of occultism and magic. And you're like, if I just learn one more universal secret, if I learn one more esoteric tradition, if I learn one more path of magic, it's going to click and I'm going to get all the things that I desire. And it's just not like that. So I just went down a completely different path, and I decided that all of this occultism and esoterica is just obfuscating the truth. And yes, they can draw from truth, but if you don't have the entire picture, it's just not going to work out. So, maybe another time we can talk about that whole story.
Okay,
I just decided there's no such thing as black and white magic. And actually, magic is grooming children for pedophilia. I have a whole talk about that. How Harry Potter is just, getting kids ready to be penetrated.
Brutal.
Right? So yeah, Sweet Dreams, the video, it shows her levitating out of bed like Exorcist. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
And a dove descends down to her, and then the video starts. And look at this sigil of the OTO right there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
on a heart. It's a dove, right?
Yeah.
So they're using a lot of these OTO symbols and magic symbols in Jay-Z and Beyonce's career. And even the lyrics of the song are very eerie. It also has mind control elements, broken mirrors, robotics. Okay, so this is the end. This is the climax of the show we're going to have when we talk about robots. But this is just getting you ready and putting robotics as fashion. Because if you watch the video, she's in a robot suit and she's doing robot dances. And robot is just another metaphor for a mind control slave, right? Because sorcerers and black magicians, dark occultists, that is their wet dream. They want to be able to control people like robots. That's why you got Elon rolling out the Elon bots. Because sex bots are going to be huge in the future. And
unbelievable. We're just,
yeah.
society's done. It's just done. It is done. We are done.
Yeah.
When you can hump a robot, like what are we doing here?
Some people gotta leave their house. I mean, think about it. What we have right now is too much for some people to handle. Some people can't handle what we have now. Just videos on a screen. Think about it. So
you know what's interesting is that Johnny talks about all the time about how they're prepping us for these like RV these virtual reality glasses by having all these famous people walking around with big glasses on because they want us to get used to seeing big glasses on people.
You mean SamTripoli? SamTripoli got a bunch of those glasses lately.
Yeah, I do. Okay. I do. I have old eyes on purpose.
They look good. I'm not hating. I like them too, but Johnny's onto something. Johnny's like, this is fashion. This is how they get you to end up liking the big old ones because it's part of fashion.
They do. I mean, those prototype lenses that Facebook even says like, oh, they're too big for people to like, but I mean, they look exactly like what you see on runways right now and what celebrities shot around Hollywood wearing.
And just look what fashion is connected to. So Balenciaga was the biggest thing 2 years ago, right? That whole scandal of the kids and the Balenciaga.
Yeah.
So high fashion is definitely wrapped up in this Satanism. And yeah.
It's crazy,
so then in
dude.
2010, Beyonce said she killed Sasha because she didn't need her anymore. And then another personality called Beyonce was born.
What?
And this is who came out at the Super Bowl halftime show of the 2013. Do you remember when they were getting still shots of her weird faces and saying she morphed into a demon?
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Right.
That was Beyonce, that weird face.
Yes.
Have you guys seen the video? Johnny, will you look that up, Xavier, where she's like dancing, they freeze it, and she looks like she has a reptilian face?
Yes. She looks super fierce and demonic. And so, yeah, this is Beyonce. She, this Super Bowl actually is weird because it was done in New Orleans. And if you guys don't know about voodoo, you guys need to brush up on your voodoo because this is coming really fast. Lots of Haitians are coming over here. They're being integrated into the schools. So voodoo is a huge thing in magic also. And the purpose of the voodoo rituals is to actually get a spirit to possess you. And they call that the loa. So they do these drums and they do the beat and they offer the offerings to the spirit in hopes that the spirit will come into them and possess them, like they say, like a rider on a horse, right? And so this is probably what's happening to Beyonce at the Super Bowl. And this year was really weird too, because they also had Jennifer Hudson singing there, who had a crazy, like, lots of people in her family died just before she
just got murked all at once.
And they also had the Sandy Hook Choir.
Was that the Super Bowl with the Sandy Hook Choir?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's weird.
Singing Over the Rainbow, which is a mind control song. Wizard of Oz
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz is huge in mind control programming. Over the Rainbow is another way of saying disassociation, right? It's also a theosophical fairy tale. So that's weird part about the Super Bowl, which is, we call these high profile rituals now. They're not entertainment, right? They are indoctrination, and you are participating in something. And that was the climax of the movie Smile last night, was the demon that is haunting you attaches when you see someone kill themselves, right? And then at the end of the movie, it's a spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Smile 2 yet, but the pop star kills herself on stage in front of the entire audience. Now, the entire audience has been demonized and has this demon attached to them.
Hold on. In the movie
Spoiler alert for Smile 2.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts.
I will be watching that next week with my girlfriend. So I'm just going to take my headphones off here.
Oh, sorry, but
that's okay.
No,
it makes
spoil
sense for what
away.
we're talking about.
We're fighting demons here.
Yeah,
we're going to
Johnny.
spoil it.
Yeah, this is the Lord's work.
Right.
Johnny, stop worshiping the devil.
I watch everything. You know that, Sam.
Well, even the stage at the Super Bowl 2013 was set up as two faces of Beyonce looking at each other, right? So there's another evidence of duality in her art. And then she actually said in 2003 at the BET Crazy in Love, when she sang that for the first time, she said that's the first time she felt something come into her. You can see her, and she does this too. Like, I felt it come over me, and that was my coming out night, right? So this is definitely going to be connected to voodoo and to ceremonial magic in a lot of ways. Also, the roots of rock and roll are connected to voodoo through Robert Johnson. You all know that classic story where he met the devil at the crossroads. That's who taught him how to play the guitar. And that's how we get, the beginnings of rock and roll was a meeting with the devil, right?
Yeah. Let me ask you something. You're much, much younger than I am. But isn't it seem like, are we being hypocrites by getting upset with how much Satanism is in hip hop? And then not maybe you guys didn't, but the full accepting of heavy metal and Satanism, it seems somewhat hypocritical to me because like I grew up on Metallica. I wasn't a real Slayer guy, but all my friends were into Slayer. Eddie Bravo loved Slayer. And now we're like, look at these rappers. They just love Satanism. I'm like, are
like
we
Tool, dude? All the imagery in those Tool.
Oh yeah, I love
James
Tool. I mean, like, they cannot stop with the imagery. Like, am I being a hypocrite?
Well, Maynard from Tool is a Kabbalist, so they have been using magic. And yes, heavy metal has been doing this a long time, but back then it was kind of tongue in cheek, right? It was in your face. It was overt. You could say, no, I don't want to listen to devil music if I don't want to. But this is a little more nefarious and insidious because they're slipping it in where you can't detect it unless you've been to Hogwarts or read an entire library of esoteric books. You don't know why Lady Gaga is coming to the award show in an egg cocoon. You don't know why.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's wholesome. It's wholesome. It's a Super Bowl. It's for family. You don't ever think it's some part of a ritual, like you said.
So
at
I
least
mean,
when
her
you went to a
halftime show is straight up the story of Lucifer, the bearer of light, coming down from the heavens and landing. And then you see the stage she lands on, and all the pentagrams all around it, and the red light where it looks like flames, and people are just like, it's so crazy, and we're all just like, football, yay!
Okay, Sam, but do you remember the football where you watched it without seeing it with those eyes?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing.
That's how they see it. I remember seeing it like that. We're like, oh, look, it's so fun, the Beatles. And I remember, oh, look at Janet Jackson's titty. I did not know this was like all the ritual. You're just like, oh, it's wholesome fun. It's for the family. Let's have some fucking ribs.
But I think you're right in that they used to it used to be like just in a joke almost, like, like I used to say, like, it's like Black Sabbath wasn't sponsored by Jamba Juice, right? Like, it's like, this is different. Like, it's like Satanism and they're getting shoe deals with Nike. You're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So this is more of a de facto Satanism, right? It's this something that you don't even know that you're participating in. And so you don't really have a free will choice to do this. And this is also part of what they call the externalization of the hierarchy, where the things that were done in secret they want to do those in the open now. The freak offs, right? They don't want to be ashamed of their freak offs anymore. And this has been going on a long time. I mean, think of Benjamin Franklin and the Hellfire Club. Like that was your original freak off smacking
Oh my
granny
God,
butts
Ben
and
Franklin
like,
at a freak off. The smells. Oh,
oh man,
just
1800
uncomfortable.
1776 freak off. That must have been
Oh God, dude. Oh my God.
so
Just
gross.
oh man.
But yeah, they want to do this in the open and they don't want to be ashamed. So here comes Jay-Z, and he has always referred to himself as a very magnanimous, like, I'm the best, even though he sucks balls, right? He can't rap, he can't write. The only thing good about him is his wife. But
I'm not against what you're saying either. And like people are like, he doesn't even write. He just talk. You're like, bro, he just comes in, you all give him your best beats and he just puts a song together and then he forces and then he make him play it everywhere. Like, dude, how does a crack dealer in his 30s, I think, suddenly blow up as a rapper? It's like it's so obvious that there's a game being played. Like something happens. You see it with Jeffrey Epstein, you see it with P. Diddy, where like even Bill Clinton, they catch this weird sexual assault charges and they mysteriously go away and then they're just on the hook the whole time.
Yeah, so he thinks of himself as a god. The god MC, he calls himself Jehovah or Hova. He's got a weird history too. So like back in 2013, he could be seen wearing this medallion of the 5% Nation, which is this weird, it's not even Islam, it's a weird offshoot of Islam where they think that Asiatic black man is God and all sorts of other like kooky things. And then he was seen wearing all these Do Without Wilt hoodies, which was his own clothing line. Now, I'm sure you guys know whose motto is Do Without Wilt, right?
Yep.
Aleister Crowley.
Yep, 100%.
And it also said Masters of the Craft, other clothing items. So he's obviously been introduced to magic and specific types of magic, Golden Dawn or Thelema or OTO, right? Because that's where Do Without Will comes from. He's also doing this, right?
Yes.
This is not the Roca-Ware diamond, okay? If you look in any Kabbalah magic book, these are called mudras, hand signs. They're very important to especially like Eastern mysticism, yoga, and stuff like that. So this is called the triangle of manifestation in magic. And what you would do is if you were trying to put like moon energy into an amulet or something, you would put it around the moon, or you put it around something you want and transfer the power into something else. It's also a symbol of like, it's called the Uttra Bodhi Mudra. The little variation, and Andrew Tate does it all the time. Right? So you see people doing these certain hand gestures, it gets kind of tinfoil hat area. I'm sorry, I'm going to be skeptical of every person because, like you said, I want to know who's lying to me and who's telling the truth.
Louis J. Gomez, Legion of Skanks, bro. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing with your symbolism, buddy? Dang, I got my eye on you, dude.
Right. And even Rihanna, when she did her Super Bowl, they didn't show this on the live telecast. People who had recorded it found it. But she was all dressed in red as a Scarlet Woman, which the title of this little presentation I put for you is Robo Beyonce, the Whore of Babylon.
Robo Beyonce.
Robo Beyonce, yeah. And so Rihanna comes out this past year as a Scarlet Woman. She's doing the triangle manifestation. So there's all of these clues that will lead us to believe that Jay-Z is following this one particular system of magic that basically permeates the entire entertainment industry.
From top to bottom, man.
Because every man and woman is a star. Is one of their mottos also, right? So when you got your stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, this is also a reference to Thelema and the Book of the Law. So you've got the OTO symbolism in Jay-Z's art. What else you got? Oh, I don't know if you guys ever saw this song called Monster with Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
That's a super dark one too. you've got, they are always juxtaposed. How do you say that? Juxtaposing. Yeah. Contrasting beautiful women with grotesque things and also being dead. So you've got like dead models laying full covered in blood. You've got mannequins, which are very important to Satanism because of the simulacra. And just all sorts of terrible lyrics in that song. I have the whole breakdown of it in this book.
No, it talks about monsters. It's called Monsters. We've heard it, Sam. We've played it. It talks about like Bigfoot, aliens. It goes deep. Yeah.
Aliens, yes. And that's another thing that the OTO is obsessed with, incarnating aliens. And so that's why you've got recently Sabrina Carpenter making out with a gray alien at the last VMAs, because aliens are coming, y'all. They're going to be fake. It's going to be a psyop. It's really stupid, but many people are going to be deceived by this alien invasion, and they're already talking about the precursors are here, which are people that are aliens that are here to facilitate the integration of people and aliens. So this is just like Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. Now, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, sci-fi. So the OTO had a lot of people in it that marketed mass market paperbacks, science fiction, robots, space travel, Mars, aliens. All of this is coming from Aleister Crowley and the OTO, Robert Heinlein, especially, and your boy, what's his name? Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. With the science fiction. Okay, so this is how you're getting all the nerds in. You're getting all the meek people who like to read, and the smart people and the intellectuals. You get them all wrapped up in this like goofy science fiction. They think the aliens are coming.
You're so right. You're so right.
It's gonna be like Independence Day or some stupid shit. And you need to read Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, because it's all about the aliens park in the sky for 50 years while people get used to them. And they give us little technologies, and they teach us how to extend life, and they teach us, how to be better. But what they really want is to just take the children and nuke the planet and go somewhere else. Right?
Whoa.
And what do they want to do with the children?
Just use them for energy, what they're talking about, and that is the panspermia, that aliens seeded life on the planet, and then they leave for millennia, and they come back and they harvest whatever has grown here. Okay, so this is one of the hypotheses of creation, and this goes into the alien Prometheus theories and stuff like that, right?
Guys, I want to tell you about Americana, the greatest America. You like the bald eagle? This is greater than the bald eagle. This is the bald eagle who's rock hard. And that's right, Blue Chew, guys. That's right. Let me tell you about Blue Chew, an American company trying to give American boners to people who love boners. Okay, let me tell you about Blue Chew. We love Blue Chew. They're one of our favorite sponsors. They've been with us since the beginning. Okay, and this show's all about getting rock hard. Okay, that's what we're about. So Blue Chew wants you rock hard. They want all men rock hard. They told me this. Okay, they called me up one night. I was sleeping. I'm like, who is this? They're like, it's Blue Chew. Get those guys rock hard. I'm like, thank you. Now I have a mission. Okay, so they want to get you rock hard. Their mission, they will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. Okay, till every tent is pitched, till every rod is raised. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost, and comes in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Okay, the Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA, and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. Okay, that means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line. Okay, you can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead. Be ready whenever an opportunity arises. So here's what we need you to do, everybody. We have a special offer deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code tinfoil at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code tinfoil to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast.
But for our purposes, we're talking about the Scarlet Woman, who right now is Beyonce, or she's one of the, archetypes of this whore Babylon, Scarlet Woman, Kali, the goddess of this Aeon of Aleister Crowley. And they are obsessed with facilitating this invasion through sex and sex magic, right? Do you want to talk about Beyonce and the Obamas real quick before we get back to aliens?
Yeah,
because I kind of did this
we're totally
a timeline.
Down with all of it.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
totally down with all of it.
So back in the day, the Carters were like treated like royalty. Like I remember when Blue Ivy was born, she was getting all kinds of like royal gifts and saying she is related to Prince William, like 26 cousins or some crazy stuff like that. So they were putting on that America has royalty. It's Obama's and the pop stars, the Carters, Beyonce and them. And they've always been thick as thieves. So Michelle called Beyonce a role model for young women. Jay-Z was campaigning for Barack. Jay-Z said in his song Open Letter that he's got White House clearance. Right?
Was White House clearance?
Huh?
Who had White House clearance?
Jay-Z said in his song Open Letter that he's got White House clearance. And then he actually released his song his album Blueprint on September 11, 2001. So he's talking about the blueprint of the future. According to him and his buddies, Obama, Warren Buffett, whoever else in that stupid club. And what else? Oh, Beyonce performed at the 2009 inauguration. Obama says he and Jay-Z have a lot in common, and the media was even calling it a bromance between Jay-Z and Obama.
There's some crazy stuff. Obviously, like the P. Diddy tapes are out there, but there's discussions of stories of Jay-Z getting weird with old white guys. I don't know what it is.
Nobody's butthole gets out alive of this.
Okay, nobody's butthole gets out.
It doesn't. So when they say bromance, I'm thinking the extension of that whole thing. So he even had pre-taped public servants announcements from Obama during his performances. So that is how close they are. So Beyonce is an emerging goddess. Right? She's not just a pop star anymore. She's not just an idol. She is going to be a goddess of this alien invasion. And back in like 2014, everybody's talking about ISIS. So remember when the terrorist group ISIS was in the news?
Yes.
And everything was about ISIS. So she is probably one of the most important deities to magic, right? Your Egyptian mother goddess, she's the archetypal. She is Sirius. I'm sure you guys have heard that the Freemasons venerate Sirius, the star Sirius above.
Yes, Sirius Radio, the dog star.
Yes.
Which leads to which is also connected to Lady Gaga. Gaga is the messenger of Saturn, which is like what they believe Mars is, Pluto. Like it's really like it's all there, dude. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. So ISIS is Sophis, is Sirius. That's very important also to the 1776 America. And the entire city of Washington, D.C., I just did a show on Rockfin called The Hidden Architecture of Washington, D.C., and it is all about, it's like this thick of a book proving that the entire city was built in their mind as the body of a goddess, Ceres, and to invoke a goddess also. That's why you have the Statue of Liberty.
So you're saying New York City was built?
No, Washington, D.C.
Oh yeah, Washington D.C. And then there's also like, if you study like the architecture of Washington D.C., there's tons and tons of occult symbolism in that. Washington D.C. is Freemasonry.
Hmm.
I don't know if I talked about it here, but I don't know if you guys have followed this Alaskan Avenger. I've talked about this at a couple shows, but it's like he's this guy that was like diddled that as a child, and then when he grew up he just found a sex offender registry. He just went around just murking all these guys. He went to jail for 10 years. He just got out, and like he has a YouTube channel now, and like all of his videos, like his first couple videos, he has a straight up Freemason necklace on, like a giant
Oh, wait,
Freemason.
yeah, the guy you sent us. The guy you
What do you
sent
think
us.
that
Yeah.
means? What do you think that means?
I don't know.
Because I mean, like
Because-
some people are just like I know people around here that are just Masons, but they don't. I mean, they're just. I mean, they're most of them are dipshits, honestly.
But that's so weird, though. It's like right there, and he's big now. He's blowing up because he's got his own channel. It's just I'm a huge fan of his. I don't want him, if he heard this, to think I don't appreciate his hard work. But it was just weird to see this Freemason symbol on a guy who just got out of jail. It was weird. And then
I mean, can you
heard the
join
story
the
about
Freemasons
Nelson.
in jail?
What?
Can you join the Freemasons in jail?
I think you only join Islam in jail. That's what I was told. I don't know if you join Freemasonry, but there was that whole theory that Nelson Mandela was a Freemason.
I don't think Freemasons go to jail very much.
That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
just say,
what is that?
do some signs, like. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about Freemasonry in a second when we talk about beehives, because Beyonce is Queen Bee, right? And her fan club is called the Beehive. But Black Isis. Okay, so here's where we're going down a slightly different tangent with the African American goddess, the Black goddess. Black Isis is the archetype for the high priestess in the tarot. She can be syncretized into the Virgin Mary, or what they call the Black Madonna.
We've done shows on the Black Madonna.
The what?
We've done shows on the Black Madonna.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, Isis, Sybil, Diana have all been depicted as black, as have Kali, Inanna, and Lilith. And also there is an Egyptian goddess named Neith, who was just as important as Isis, and her temple is known as the House of the Bee. So what we're saying here is like, what if Jay-Z and them are in the OTO and they're using Beyonce and these other girls in elaborate rituals to bring forth the Scarlet Woman? Because that is the point of the magic of the Lima and OTO. That's what Jack Parsons was trying to do in the desert with his magical working, the Babylon working with L. Ron Hubbard. What they were trying to do, create moon children through sex magic rituals, right? And if they weren't Moonchild, yeah. So this OTO is the society dedicated to channeling the extraterrestrial gods through sexual energy. And a lot of times they will use the Egyptian pantheon. So you've got your freak off, somebody's Ra, somebody's Horus, somebody's Isis, somebody's Thoth and Hermes and Mercury and whatever else. So
they're all cosplaying?
Yes. Yes.
That's so crazy.
They're cosplaying Egyptian gods. And then, so the supreme goddess who they're working to incarnate upon the earth is Babylon. And so she is part Ishtar, she's part Kali, she's part Isis, and part Whore of Babylon from the Book of Revelations. So even believers, Believers, she has a church, or she did back when I wrote this book about 10 years ago, called the Church of Bay, and that she's a goddess, can do no wrong. They meet in a church. And the most interesting part about this was they said men
Hold on. Who had a church? Beyonce?
No, they made a church around Beyonce.
What?
Yeah.
That is so crazy. That's just crazy on there's no level that isn't crazy.
Okay, you want to hear this? Let's see. Beyonce is a divine deity walking among them. She will transcend back to the spirit once her work here on Mother Earth has been completed. Our congregation continues to swell We ask you consider what is more real, an invisible spirit or a walking, talking, breathing goddess. Beyonce's spirit is entrancing, blah, blah, blah. She is Mother Bay.
Look at this. Look at this, guys.
Yeah, Beyonce mask. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Dude, this is no joke. Holy fuck.
Go down. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, 2023 mask. Yep.
I guess
look
they
at this.
stopped
Look-
after 2023, huh?
Look at this picture right here.
COVID?
Look at that behind them.
Oh, it's all purples too. It's all purples.
The church service that worships Beyonce.
Yeah.
So there seems to be some Christianity in there at some point.
Yes. So see how she is depicted with her child like the
Yeah.
Virgin Mary. She's very Catholic looking, very, Madonna-ish, right? And this is really interesting. So they said the church currently caters to all women, but men are welcome, provided they symbolically sacrifice their manhood and remove their penises before pledging allegiance to Bae.
What?
What
Hold
the
on.
fuck?
What?
Yeah.
What just happened here?
It's gonna get weirder. Just wait.
Oh my! It's already weird. All right, Jamie, have you seen the? I don't want. Okay, finish this, and I want to get into this video going around about Beyonce and her pregnancy and the stories behind that. But let's finish
I
her
remember
insane church. That's so crazy to me.
So you see this with Elvis, other big giant icons, idols. They start to get this lore around them, and also that they can do miracles, right? So it's not going to be long before people are writing Beyonce and praying to her and asking for her favor, asking for her to do miracles. There was even some prestidigitation at some of her concerts where she would pick somebody out of the audience and go like this, and they would like levitate up and push back. I mean, it's got to be stagecraft, but it's also subconsciously programming people to think that these people have supernatural powers, right?
Yes, 100%. Like the people that believe in Chris Angel.
Yeah, right. So we are worshiping these idols, Elvis, Beyonce, whoever else has these rabid devotees. And this is where we come to Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God. Now, this is a book I found in London in a dusty old bookshop. And it was about 60 pounds. These are very rare. I don't know anybody else who's read Kenneth Grant, but he is saying so much crazy stuff that I got out of this and applying it to what's going on in popular culture. So what this is a study of Aleister Crowley's system of sex magic, and it has to do with the tantric rites of Kali, the Indian goddess, right? You know who Kali is? She's the destroyer. She's always depicted with like a garland of skulls around her neck, and she eats men, and she's like got her tongue out. Actually, the Rolling Stones, the lips of the Rolling Stones, that thing, that came to him from a vision he said that he had of Kali. So that's actually Kali's tongue and mouth on the
Whoa.
Oh shit.
California's named after Kali.
California, yeah.
So nuts, dude. And now we wonder why this whole state is just full of crazy people.
Well, I made a joke and I'm like, are yoga pants actually evil because they are using tantric magic and bringing all of this over to the West and getting all of these white women demonized by these ancient tantric demons. And even they said in this book that white women can't handle it as well as other darker women because they're this is what he's saying, not what I'm saying.
Aleister Crowley's saying that white women can't handle it?
Said that dark women make better witches and conduits for esoteric gods because their heritage has not been Christianized like white history has been. That's what he says.
Oh, dude. Black chicks make better witches. I mean, that's the whole BLM thing. They were openly saying they were Marxist witches. I was like, dude, you're giving that away. But yeah, man, they bragged about being Marxist witches.
Yeah. So like, are yoga pants evil? Maybe. So this is the evolved method, he says, for contacting extraterrestrials and non-human entities through the use of psychosexual energy. Okay. And this book is their formula for producing the Scarlet Woman, who they say is any woman who wants to be one. So any woman who does these rituals or transmits what they call my solar word and being, it can be a Scarlet Woman. So they use Tantra to invoke deities and make magical elixir from their bodily fluids. So you have a high priestess and you're doing this woo-woo over her, and supposedly you can make her have an orgasm without touching. And this is one of their magical practices. And then they collect the juice that comes out called kalas, Kalas, and they do, whatever spells they want to do with it. So they're wheezing the juice.
Oh, they got some guy just catching squirts. Is that what it is? Just catching squirts?
They're catching squirts, and they make elixir out of these bodily fluids. The purpose of this, the tantric initiate, they says, begets children on virgins without physical intervention. So what they are doing is against nature in every way, making your desires manifest through sex, which should just create a baby and love and just like wholesome things. But you take that and put it in a natural ritual, and you separate the child from the act, and then you can get a Lamborghini or whatever what you want. Do you know what I mean? That's what's going to be born from this sex. Instead of a child in the image of God, it's your will, whatever your physical thing that you are desiring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, even though it's retarded.
Is like Hogwarts, like
it's
senior college.
It makes sense what you're saying, even that they're retarded. Yes.
Okay. So sex without children and children without sex is what they want, and this is when the artificial wombs and all of this gender war and women are evil and all of this stuff is coming out, because they want to separate women from childbirth altogether.
It's unbelievable how it's worked so well. When you listen to women talk about how their single issue in this election, regardless of whether you think elections are real or not, is abortion. Like that to me, like the world's burning. We almost got World War III. Can't afford anything. No one can afford apartments. No one can afford gas. No one can afford anything. No one can, they don't want you to have cars. All this crazy shit. They're poisoning your water. They're poisoning your air. The only thing you care about is abortion. That to me is just brainwashing. It's just brainwashing.
The crazy thing about that is that Trump is not even against abortion either.
It's so crazy.
So it's like right. Melania said, I support, women's choice or whatever. So why don't you just, it's weird.
It's just weird because it's just gaslighting. All they do, the one side, the Democrat demons, is gaslighting. Their whole thing is running on gaslighting. It's just if he gets elected, this will happen, even though they're doing most of it. And they could have codified abortion as a constitutional right, but they haven't, because they have to have this issue to scare women.
Mm-hmm.
They have to, and it's just all they care about. And then you have like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, or whatever her name is. How do you say Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, she's 61. She's like, get out of my vagina, government. You're like, first of all, I guarantee you're pro-vax and vax mandate, so shut up about that. And second of all, you're 61. You don't have to worry about it. But because you're part of these elite, like her family are like some of the most richest, powerful people on planet Earth, she has to play this fucking game, which is cultural warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just making stupid videos with like the worst filter ever. You're like, it's just like, it looks like you're looking at someone through glamour shots videos where it's just foggy and you can't see anything. It's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. It's mixed up and crazy. And the weirdest thing about that is the Roe versus Wade. I mean, the way I understand it is, why would they overturn that they don't give us anything for free. Okay. They don't give us anything that's going to be helpful and wholesome and good for society. That whole thing is also mixed up in bodily autonomy. So when they want access to your private records and everything, to make sure you've been vaccinated, that's where this whole Roe versus Wade thing, like abortion is part of it, but it's also your privatized medical records.
Yep. 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 And they're
Anyway.
also like, yeah, it's just crazy to me how they've just convinced women that this is the only thing.
Because the new Aeon, what they call this the Aeon of Horus, the crown and conquering child. And Horus was the hawk-headed god, the son of Osiris, right? So Osiris, he's where we get the Washington Monument. Right? He's the phallus of the whole thing. And then his son was Horus, his mother was Isis, and this new Aeon, they say, is the crown and conquering child. It's going to be defined by immaturity, irresponsibility, arrested development, nobody wants to grow up, Peter Pan syndrome, just all kinds of anarchy, divorce, cooming, all of this stuff. And the new Aeon, they said, will see the blending of the two sexes into one. So the androgyny that's already here. And this is symbolized by the bisexual Baphomet of Eliphas Levi, which you probably all seen that guy, right?
Alexis Levi?
The Baphomet of Eliphas Levi. So you know the goat guy with the torch on his head and the boobs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cosplay. Okay, so that's the Baphomet. He is the he's Pan, and this book is all about Pan. So the hidden god is Pan, right? The satyr.
Yeah.
The god of all. Everything blends together. There's no right and wrong. There's no bad. Everything is just one. And so it doesn't matter what you do. So you might as well use your magic wand to get whatever you want in this life.
Yeah. Yeah. So crazy, dude.
And then you've got the women's sexual revolution, which they call New Isis, NU. Do you remember when Celine Dion had that children's clothing, the new?
Yeah.
So, and it was all weird and it had like satanic stuff and it was just like, it didn't look like for kids at all. So New Isis is the women's sexual revolution. And it's an expression of what the Thelemites call the formula of New Isis, who is nature purged of ethics, morality, or laws. Right? So anything goes. They call this the current, the magic current, or whatever. The polarity, and it's designed to heighten the public feminine sexual perversion to be equal to the male perversion accomplished in the Aeon of Horus. So if you can get women to be as dirty as men, it's over.
Yep.
Right?
And they just, I mean, it's just unbelievable the level that, it's like really sad. Like what's going to do to our gene pool too. Like we talked about this on the show, like OnlyFans models are going to destroy the gene pool. Because these really are what, Johnny?
No, you're so right. No, I'm just laughing at you.
Like these
Hilarious.
are high-end Viking women that are like genetic juggernauts that are now participating in low vibrational behavior, and high-end men aren't going to want to do anything with them. So now you're just going to have a bunch of unless some of these girls get lucky and get knocked up by pro basketball players who seem to have zero problems with hooking up with adult film stars when they're really young. But
what are you talking about? Physically, they're gonna destroy the gene pool, or like the people's mind? Because if they hook up with NBA players, then mentally we're all.
But like, how many of them are like? How many times do we hear a pro athlete getting an adult film star pregnant? Once, twice. The rest of it is just like they're just dating knuckle draggers, and they're just having knuckle dragging kids when they should be mating with juggernaut men who are like high functional men creating super soldier kids. But that's all going, like, you take that, you take the physically dominant women, you take them, they're out of the gene pool, and now you take the super smart women who are educated at college, and now they're out of the gene pool.
Yeah.
It's like good luck in the future. Maybe we're going to need the robots because we're going to have nothing but cross-eyed botards everywhere.
Yeah. It's dysgenics. right? It's not even eugenics anymore because eugenics would be towards something better.
Yeah.
But this is dysgenics, right?
You're totally, I mean, like, we're just going to go back to animals, dude. We're just going to be, and like,
Idiocracy. Yeah.
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 I mean, yeah, 100%, dude.
So if you can get women as obsessed with public sex, like the OnlyFans, as men are, then like 2 circuits of a battery, they say you can create 2 matching polarities and trap consciousness, like you just said, in a lower vibration.
Wow.
Right? And then you've all heard of that book, E. Michael Jones, the Libido Dominandi. That's a good book. So he says who controls the sexual mores of women controls the state. So that's a really good book to look up about, like, it's about pornography and how you do statecraft by controlling the libido of people.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. The if you're a gorgeous young girl, the world is your oyster. And the high is super high. It's just not as long as, like, it's like a pro athlete, right? It's like, if Blake Griffin came in here right now, he'd still be the most athletic of us. He's just not as athletic as he was when he was 20 years old. And it's just the gift and the curse of physical prowess, of physical beauty and athleticism. It doesn't last forever. You're still gorgeous. It's just, unfortunately, there's 20-year-olds coming right off. And the problem with that is that we never, like, the older feminists never get real with the younger feminists. Like, the older feminists keep the lie going because they'll be like, be strong, be independent. You don't need it. Like, I just saw the dumbest article ever. It was just like 105-year-old woman's like, what's the key to longevity? Not getting married. You're like, shut up, lady. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
That's not true at all, but you're telling women that.
All the single ladies.
And and they put out, did you see the study they put out last week about how married women are sadder, women with children are more depressed and anxious?
It's so not true. It's unbelievable. It's such a lie. Okay, sadder than who? Cat ladies who are 50 and the phone's not ringing?
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't have to have kids, but it's like this notion that being alone is, it's just like you're not meant to be partying and doing everything all the time. You're meant to have the super high end youth where you enjoy everything. And then you're supposed to train the next generation for the next thing. I go on the plane, dude, I don't see kids anywhere. I used to see kids running around the airport all the time. You don't see it anymore. I mean, Japan is like, their child birth rate is down 80%. Nobody wants to bang Asian chicks. What is this about? What are we doing here?
I'm with you.
Yeah. And we just spent a week with kids, my little nieces, and they are adorable and darling, and I just couldn't imagine not wanting children.
It's so
I guess you could ask us, Sam. Like, I mean, why didn't you have kids till later? Why haven't the two of us, me and XG, had kids yet?
Well, here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. You're males. You could take longer because what you bring to the table,
but typically men haven't waited as long as the 3 of us in this conversation, and most men today seem to be waiting. And what's that about? What do you think?
Well, I think that has to do with, like, just cultural programming right now.
I think I can't hear the other microphone.
Oh yeah, XG, you're
XG, you're muted, bro. Didn't know
that was the best part of the show.
What'd you say, XG?
No, I was just saying that women don't. It's kind of. He's asking why me and Johnny haven't got pregnant. I also think it's up to the women if they want to get pregnant. They take birth controls. I mean, if these girls wanted to have kids, I'm pretty sure we would have got. It's this thing they don't want
accidentally to. You would have had children by now.
No, but they don't want to. Like, there's never been a talk where some girl was like, "Hey, I want to have a kid with you." Also,
but I'm talking about like marriage and settling down. Like, what's the? Why?
They don't want. I mean, Johnny, that's all part of the psyop as well. Like,
they don't.
No, but I mean, are we victims of it? Is that what I'm saying? What?
Yeah.
Do you think you're a victim of the psyop? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think everybody is susceptible to their certain, because if you notice, algorithms are training people to be different kinds of people. I mean, I know my phone is trying to get me to do bad things.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh,
my
yeah,
phone
I'm
wants
with you.
me.
I
My phone
hate
tells
my
me.
Instagram algorithm. I hate it. I
Yeah.
go on there all the time. I'm like,
Put you
stop
down.
it, Instagram. I don't need to see these women's body parts. It's not making me happy.
Oh,
Instagram gets
man.
you with that, and then Twitter gets you with the fear porn, the violence. I mean,
Yeah, but Johnny, that leads into it, dude. That leads
I'm
into
saying
it.
it's a
And
cycle.
the
Yeah.
horror stories of relationships, of marriage. Men are like, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have kids, and then she can decide to leave me, and then I'm out of the house. Like there's this famous video someone put of a guy, a woman wanted to get married, they get married, he's working all the time. All of a sudden, she's getting hit up on social media. Girl, you're pretty. Oh, I'm married. And he's like, let's just grab coffee. I don't know, I'm married. And then next thing you know, he's hitting it. And then she decides she doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore. And he has to move out of the house. And then when the guy leaves her, she just bitches at the kids about how awful dad is. And now dad doesn't even have his kids. That all he wants to do. There is like this kind of pay to play now where dads have to pay a certain amount of child support just to be able to see their kids. And it sucks. And you should take care of your children. Yeah, a guy who I really do believe that there is a karma social payback you feel if you don't take care of your children. I really do believe that heart to heart. The universe pounds on you. And I'm not saying if you can't, like I believe me, dude, like I know some guys out there be like, I can't deal with this mom. I get it. But you got to fight through it because your job, your kids are your mark left on the world. That's my honest belief.
No, karma gets them. I have a couple friends that are kind of deadbeat dads. On Father's Day, you don't hear nothing from them. And you know why? Because they can't live with themselves. They're like, dude, my kids don't talk to me. And you're like, it's on you too. It's sad.
So something happened specifically to the boomers, and we're going to do a whole thing on that. But like, these generations have been psyoped and mind controlled more than any other generations in history. So that's why you're seeing all of these problems. It's not that women are inherently evil or that they're the portal of sin or whatever, or men are trash and all men are dogs. It's not that. We are under attack, and it's a multi-pronged attack. It has to do with your nutrition. It has to do with your environment, your air, your water, your food, education system, media, you guys can see it. It's like just a full frontal assault on love and relationships. And so all of this gender war is being fomented to bring about transhumanism and the bots. So the bots
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
The people who can't get along with people, they're making people fight so that they can introduce the bots because they want Brave New World. They want people born without parents. They want them to just like spring up out of a pod and then go get molested by the guru and then just like take your soma and do whatever and kill yourself at 30.
I agree, man. I wholeheartedly agree with everything you just said right there. It's a long waging war against your psyche to convince you to do things that are not in your best interest.
Yeah, to separate you from God. So the main three things
100%.
that the demons want you to do butt stuff, they want you to diddle kids, and they want you to kill yourself. That's the big three, okay? And it goes in a little line. And then, so another secret I found out of this book actually is the mark of the beast. Do you want to hear about that?
Yes.
Okay. So according to occultists, the mark of the beast is the fusion of the O and the X. So it is this symbol right here. Can you see? X, O and the X. Mm-hmm. X-Men, SpaceX, Twitter X.
Oh yeah, Twitter X is crazy. Like how it looks like part of the Freemason, the G.
In the mirror image, it looks like a compass and square. You're right. But just alone, it is literally the mark of the beast. This was written in 1973. Okay. I met the high priest of the Church of Satan, Rex Church, in person twice. He has this embedded in the back of his skull underneath his skin. An O and an X. Okay.
What?
And it's an androgynous symbol too, because an X is a phallus and the O is the what they call the cetus or the vagina. Okay. So the fusion of this, they say, produces the lightning flash. And X-Men, which Wolverine, the Beast, right? He wears this giant X and circle. And even the guy in the wheelchair, Professor Xavier, his wheels on his wheelchair are this O and the X, the mark of the beast. And it's all about the mutants who are the next phase of evolution, right? So the occultists, they think that we need to have a forced quantum leap in evolution. They're tired of waiting around for biology to do its thing, and they want to interject something. This is what the monolith in 2001: A Space Odyssey is about. It's about the technology that takes the ape men to spacemen. Okay, so the technology they're talking about,
spaceman.
The ape man into spaceman, right?
Wow.
So the technology you're talking about here is the trauma-based mind control that splits your personality and gives you alter personalities and superpowers. Okay, that's what the movie Split by M. Night Shyamalan was about. You remember that? With James McAvoy. And he's got all these different personalities. And one is literally called the Beast, where he changes his physiology and he can run fast and he's just like a beast tearing it up. And he doesn't kill Anya Taylor-Joy because she has that, she's been through it. In his mind, she's been through the trauma that will let her evolve into the next being. He has to kill the innocent girls, but he lets her live because she's also been traumatized in the same way. So you've heard of Michael Aquino, right? The Temple of Set.
Yes.
Okay, so
that guy's a scumbag.
What they're talking about is the same thing through technology. So transhumanism is the leap to a new man who merges with machines and AI and becomes the new man. And they call this the Black Flame or the Gift of Set, forced evolution, right? And like I said, it also happens to be the logo of Elon Musk X. And where does he want to send us?
To Mars.
To Mars, who is the god of war and also Horus. So Horus is Mars. Red, god of war. I mean, this, and he's rolling out the bots and he's making Neuralink, the hive mind, right? This guy who is on Team Humanity, right?
Don't you, Johnny's going to get mad if he's not texting somebody right now.
Johnny's
going to get really mad.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust
No, I'm not. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You love to just throw me on it, but no, I mean, I'm ambivalent about, I really don't know what to think about Elon. Many things he does, like you said on the last show, X has been a great thing for all of us, but there are many other things he does that I have, serious reservations about, many things he says also, for sure. I mean, he's kind of like a Loki figure to me, he's the trickster god, I mean, he's got his own agenda, certainly. And sometimes that is aligned with the interests of humanity. And many other times I would say it's not, certainly. Yeah. So the Neuralink, the hive mind, the Elon Musk, and he's obsessed with the letter X. So X is another representation of crossroads, like we were talking about with Robert Johnson, who met the devil at the crossroads. And the crossroads is just the plane of the mundane meeting the spiritual world where you meet. That's what the crossroads is representing, right? So, but he's always been obsessed with X, and X has always been representing the crossroads. So he's also pro universal basic income. And he wants X, the
everything out
with the mark of the beast on it, to be your bank and connected to your universal basic income. But he didn't say basic. He said it's going to be a great income. And he also told Jordan Peterson that they're going to create a new god In Memphis, of all places, Memphis, Tennessee, which was also a place of the gods in Egypt, he said they're going to have a giant AI center there, and new gods are going to be coming out of Memphis, and they're going to be AI. One last thing, he calls himself Dark Maga, right? So if you go on
Dark Maga, you're totally
if you go
right.
to Church of Satan's website, you can see the 5 degrees that you can attain in Satanism, and the 5th one is called Maga or Magus.
Damn, dude. It's so crazy. You knew when Dark Maga came out that there's no way that was at all positive.
Isn't that more damning of MAGA as on a whole? Because it doesn't say. I mean, where did that come from?
Who knows where that came from? But I'm just saying, he's Dark Maga. It could stand for Make America Great Again. Who knows? But I'm just saying, go on the Church of Satan website, look it up for yourself. There's 5 levels. The 5th one is Maga or Magus.
So, I mean, what was Trump thinking when he came up with MAGA? I think that predates him, though, right? MAGA.
Yeah, they dude. If you go back to like, I forget who was it, Eisenhower or Truman, when they like kind of like installed him in. They were people talking about Make America Great Again. They just run these lizard people run the same freaking playbook over and over again.
Yes,
over and over again.
But it's what you say, Sam. I think they lack certain creativity, right? I mean, they're a different species almost. They lack that element of the human spark. Yeah.
The gene.
So, here they are. Going to hear about cults of the goddess? Do we have time? I don't know.
Yes, we do have time.
Okay.
I want to hear about the cults of the goddess.
Cults of the goddess. You're going to find this really interesting because the priests of the goddess are called Gala or Gali. So that's where you get Met Gala, and that's where Elon goes as the servant of Satan with the upside down cross on his back. Remember, he had that red suit.
Yeah.
And Grimes went, and he was, Baphomet or whatever at the Met Gala.
They're all dark, dude. They're all dark. They're just all dark.
What does state-sanctioned prostitution, welfare, self-harm, divination, infantilization, communism, and pride parades all have in common?
Jews! No, only kidding.
Maybe. But these are some of the most ancient things. So in my new book, I'm going all the way back to Mesopotamia and the very first cities, Uruk, Babylon, and Ur.
Whoa.
And I read this scholarly paper called Priests of the Goddess, Gender Transgression in Ancient Religion. Okay, this is the very first religions that there were. We're talking about Anunnaki now. Remember? Ancient aliens, Anunnaki, Inanna. So priests of the goddess are called Gala or Gali. In the Greco-Roman era, they worshipped the goddess Sybil, who was an androgynous deity who was castrated at birth. So the Gali were sexually active with men, and for the receptive partner, it was considered androgenizing. So this is why this is so big right now, because goddess worship involves castration, self-harm. What they would do is live in a communal living, like some kind of polycule. And a lot of them were castrated and cross-dressing. And they would go out and read fortunes and sing songs and, do parades. And then they would beg money. And if you didn't give them enough money, they'd lift up their skirt and show you their scars of their castration. And that was their
my God, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So in Sumer, the priests of Inanna were called Gala, and the word that they made up was using the signs for penis and anus. Right? So cults of the goddess have all of this going on: self-mutilation, self-harm. They would get in drug-induced frenzies and whip themselves. And I'm sure you've seen that on National Geographic, where they're like hooping and hollering, they cut themselves, they can't feel it. This all comes from the priest's class of the goddess, who are a state-sanctioned religion. And this is where why they call it the Whore of Babylon, because part of the worship of Inanna okay, this goes into my talk that I do in the live talk, but basically, so the priestess of Inanna is the conduit of the goddess, and this is where we get the idea of actors and actresses and mystery plays. And so what the actors would do is say, I am the god, and we're acting out this cosmological play, and the people watch it and they're indoctrinated, and they also are worshiping the actors and actresses as in place of gods and goddesses, right? The Anunnaki. And where kings would get their legitimacy from to rule these cities, which the city-states were basically just a houses or temple for these different gods, was by sleeping with the priestess of Inanna, and then her maidens were like the holy prostitutes that you could go and pay to sleep with them and receive a blessing from Inanna. It sounds sexy, but a lot of these people were slaves. They were against their will.
Sounds like human trafficking.
Yes. So it wasn't all like sexy pop stars. It was very dark and,
Yeah, you're not going to get the hot ones.
No. So Inanna Ishtar was actually a hermaphrodite also. She was worshipped by cross-dressing festivals, and she was thought to be able to change men into women and vice versa.
Oh, God.
So, and that's what you're seeing now, and that's why I kind of brought up that ancient, or the hidden architecture of Washington, D.C., because that is also designed to be the body and house of a goddess. And Washington, D.C. has a lot in common with Rome. And yeah, that's a whole tangent. But I want to, I have 3 more if you guys got time.
We got time.
Okay.
Johnny's got nowhere to go.
So, androids, robots,
sex
bots, anything that can replace the natural process is de facto satanic. So it's not necessarily that they want to be anti-God, they want to be instead of God, or like fake God. So that's why the Antichrist is not going to be devilish. He's going to be like Christ, because he's going to be the false Christ, right? He's going to be instead of Christ. Everyone's going to think he's great. No one's going to think he's a baby eater, right? And simulacra is very important to Satanism and Luciferianism, and especially Anton LaVey. So he was the creator of the Church of Satan in 1966. And he had a dream that he had a dream that synthetic companions would be bigger than Ford Motors. He actually has an entire chapter dedicated to this in his biography. I did a whole show on this on Rockfin about Anton LaVey. But yeah, he thought it would be bigger than Ford Motors in the future, and that everybody would have a robo companion just like they have a car right now.
You would have to get the Best Buy warranty on that, right? Whenever you buy electronic, they're always like, do you want the 5-year warranty? I never take it. But on a Bang robot, I'm like, give me the warranty, dog. Give me the warranty, dude. Give me the warranty.
Can I take it to the car wash?
Yeah.
So he actually preferred non-human companions to people, and he had his whole basement set up like a bar that he called the Den of Iniquity, but instead of patrons, he had mannequins in different poses that he would just go down there and hang out with fake dummy people.
Wow.
Of course.
And so he believed, and so did Michael Aquino, that the mind of humanity could be controlled through electronic media. He called the television the satanic altar. He, loved the idea that people were worshiping in front of this instead of worshiping God. He actually admired Walt Disney for introducing the children to animatronics and robots. So I wrote, and like I said before, robots is a sorcerer's wet dream, right? Like mind control, monarch mind control. I wrote this chapter a long, long time ago. I don't sell this book anymore, but it's called Sorcerers and Robots, A Love Story. And you've got Alshar Kali here, and you've got Sorcerer's Apprentice over here, old Mickey Mouse.
Oh my God.
And this whole chapter, yeah. Oh, I actually did a live stream about it. So if you go to my channel and go under lives, I read out of this book because I don't sell it anymore because, like I said, I don't believe in white magic anymore. And that has a lot of that stuff in it. So it's just a non-publishable thing. But I do have what's good on my channel. But yeah, sorcery and robotics, like it's a no-brainer, right? They want mind control slaves, and the monarch mind control program was just a stepping stone in this evolution because they don't need that many people anymore. And this is where the depopulation comes in. So once they
I
have
agree with this part. I think this is a big part of the depopulation is that technology is going to be so we're not going to need as many people. So let's whittle it down to an acceptable number that the economy can sustain.
that the environment can sustain,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah,
going to do
yeah,
it,
yeah.
unalive yourself for the planet, right? Even though we have like so much space and resources, but the people are hoarding it all. And I'm not a communist, but it's crazy. What else? Sorcerers and robots. Yeah. So Beyonce, back to Beyonce. She performed this song called Get Me Bodied at the Get Me Bodied, because demons are not carnate. Spirits, right? They need us. And this is what they tell you when you study voodoo, is they need your body to enjoy things. It's kind of like, remember Pirates of the Caribbean? When he was explaining, like, they can live forever, but they can't taste the apple. So they have no joy. They have no reason for being. They have to possess a person so that they can taste things, so that they can feel pleasure and stuff like that.
God.
So Get Me Bodied is talking about taking a discarnate spirit into your body so that they can experience 3D, pleasures. So she performs this at the 2007 BET, and she rises from the Matrix, like, the Matrix, the green codes. So she rises from this dressed as a robot who awakens from a shock of electricity. Now, this is from a old movie I'm sure your fans are familiar with called Metropolis.
Yes.
So that old black and white Fritz Lang German expressionist. So this is the first time you're seeing things on film like pentagrams and satanic imagery and stuff like that. German expressionism, which Anton LaVey was a big fan of these kind of movies. So here's Beyonce in concert. See that? Here's Beyonce in concert, right?
Yeah.
Here's the evil robot from Metropolis. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yep.
she's brought to life by electricity and black magic, and you've got this upside down pentagram going on here. You've even got the sorcerer Rotwang. He has to sacrifice a piece of himself, which is his hand, to animate the robot. And here's Beyonce wearing the Rotwang hand.
Oh my God, they're so dark.
Right?
They're so dark.
So Metropolis is interesting because they love the idea of a socially stratified society. They are under Darwinian, Malthusian ideas that the slaves shall serve. Okay, this is called from a thing called Liber Oz. We were talking about Wizard of Oz. So in Liber Oz, Ozzy says that, the aristocrats will rule and the slaves serve. So in Metropolis, you have this very strictly stratified society where the workers are literally part of the underground of the machine of the city. It's like the blood, basically. They run everything. And then the aristocrats just sit on top and, drink champagne and, do whatever.
Damn,
dude. So here's Beyonce doing this Metropolis ritual, and the robot is actually named Maria in the movie, like Mary, Virgin Mary, right? So she's a new Virgin Mary. They use Maria, the evil robot. They send her to a nightclub in the city of Metropolis, and she comes out as the Whore of Babylon. On this, the beast with 7 heads. Like, this is a very cool artistic movie. I really recommend anybody watch it if they like film as an art. So Maria comes out, the robot, and she's like dancing and she's very devilish, and she gets all of the guys in the city in this like lustful frenzy, and they start brawling, and the city's like crumbling, all because this robotic Maria was doing this crazy dance and like putting a spell on them, right? Let's see. There's even a ritual of the Church of Satan that's inspired by this movie Metropolis called Die Elektrischen Vorspiel. And then the Metropolis suit was turned into a bee.
What?
For her tour. So yes, she was a robotic bee. Now, the hive mind is something that they've been working on for a long time. And the transhumanists, like we were talking about, the gender wars is just a stepping stone to transhumanism, right? And the Freemasons do their rituals to make a sort of hive mind also, to make a collective of people who operate as one entity, right? And you've all heard of the singularity, right? When we all hook up and we're not alone anymore.
Plugged in.
Plugged in. So this is the hive mind. So Beyonce's official fan club is called the Beehive. And then in Egypt, the bees and the hive were the symbol of the like stable, obedient society, all run by a matriarch or queen. Right? It's not patriarchy. And this is their idea also of like order out of chaos, right? That they love.
Everything.
Even though they're the ones creating the chaos, so they can make the order that they want. And then, so Beyonce is sort of like this queen of drones of the society, using her sexual potency to change the consciousness of this millennial generation. Would you agree with that?
Unbelievable. So dark. They're so dark. The whole thing is dark, and they're just leading the kids, leading the kids into this low vibrational shit that they don't even know what they're getting into.
Yeah, and just controlling them through their passions and through sexuality. And I mean, you talked about with Jay that we were joking about the tunnels of Typhon, right? When you were asking about butt stuff.
Yeah.
So this is actually called the Typhonian OTO, the TOTO, where this book comes from. So there was the regular OTO, and then this book comes from the Typhonian OTO. And in the occult, the tunnels of Typhon is actually the butt. It's the rectum. Okay.
I've always said that to Johnny all the time. I'm like, dude, butthole is the window to your soul, asshole, a soul, asshole.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of parasites. We just did a show about parasites on this, and a lot of people.
Butt stuff?
Yes.
Alarms going off in Sam's brain right
now. Oh no! Let me make some calls real quick. And
people have reported after they do a parasite cleanse that they no longer have these like desires anymore. I mean, they are called
really? Hold on. You're saying parasites be making people gay?
Yes.
So West Hollywood's full of
the worm in your brain is huge, Sam. I mean,
Johnny, shut up. It's rude what you're saying right now. This is offensive.
It's one of the things that can contribute to that kind of behavior.
Sounds like we all need to do a parasite cleanse. Sounds like some of us need a little bit more than the others. Am I right?
I mean, ivermectin is one of the best things for that. And so why do you think that they were saying ivermectin is horse paste and it doesn't cure anything, and it's like, you're going to die?
How can I get ivermectin?
I have some in my closet, Sam. I'd be glad to give you some.
Really?
Yeah, I took it for COVID. Yeah.
What if I shove it up my soul hole? Will it get right to it?
I don't think that helps. No, I just think
you can boof. I don't think you should boof that.
That's an exit only, guys. Okay, just think of it.
I agree.
Just think of it like only. When you drive out and those spikes come up and you can't.
Yeah. That's so crazy. I have spikes in my butt.
Yes. So the 11th degree of the classic OTO is actually anal sex, right?
Oh my God.
And the symbolism of the Eye of Horus being identified with the anus comes from Aleister Crowley, who he said that, the eye of Horus is better than the mouth of Isis or something like that. So he really liked that stuff.
Ugh, it's gross.
And this
gross.
comes from the ancient tale. So if you go study Egyptian mythology, right? Horus and Set are at odds. Set is Horus's uncle. He's the brother of Osiris, who killed Osiris, chopped him up, put him in the Nile. Isis had to go find him. So Horus and Set are always fighting because he's trying to avenge his father. And at one point, Set actually rapes Horus.
Oh my God.
One of the stories. So the spiritual component of sodomy in the occult, in the dark occult, in the left-hand path, what they call it, is to defeat God, okay? And then survivors of satanic ritual abuse report that sodomy is the foundation of their satanic order, and it is equivalent to being born again in Lucifer. So they say that sodomy attacks the nerves at the base of the spine, which is like where they call the Kundalini. This book talks all about Kundalini. I mean, I had to learn Sanskrit to understand this glossary in this book. Is all ancient Sanskrit. But yeah, so that attacks the bases, the nerves of the basal spine, and it causes neurological changes to the way the mind actually works.
Wow.
One of the examples of this would be multiple personalities. So,
Jesus.
We're scared. I'm scared.
are you speechless? Are you bored? I don't know.
No, it's speechless,
Okay.
and it's crazy how deep this goes, and on every level. It's like you think it's like. So the problem with conspiracies is that people are always like, dude, they'd never do that because they think it's like a 2-week process that they're trying to install like stuff in like a short time, and they don't realize that this stuff has been going on for thousands of years, and they've been slowly implementing this stuff over time. Get you to do bad stuff.
Yes. I mean, the first writing, cuneiform, when I was talking about Inanna and the words for penis and anus, that's the first evidence of writing and everything that we have, and they're doing butt stuff. So,
Of course, dude, the first thing they did when they realized they could write on walls is they depicted butt stuff.
And peepees.
And
Right?
peepees.
If you go to ancient Rome, there's like graffiti of peepees everywhere. Pompeii has
Dick doodles were the first communication of man. Look at do.
We just went to Pompeii, and there's actually like little stone penises as arrows pointing you towards the brothels in the street.
Blinging ass. Unbelievable. It's just
So-
unbelievable.
The last thing I had for you guys today is called Weird Science.
Okay.
And it's kind of like wrapping all of this up, right?
Okay.
So from past, present, to future. And this is like a compilation of the Weird Science DC archives from like the 50s comic books. Okay. And one of these stories is about making your own Robo-Woman made of the future. So the story is he goes to the future and he brings back a kit. Oh, here it is. Lonely? You need a wife? A construct a wife kit will solve your problem. Satisfaction guaranteed. Choose your own types, blondes, brunettes, redheads. So they're already trying to get you, comfortable with the idea that in the future you will just be able to have your own.
Guys just can't hit on chicks, right? They just can't do it. They just don't with anything but to go hit on a chick. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
We are witnessing
oh man, it's
a
over.
complete collapse of Riz in our society. Like, it is over with. They can't even think of a decent topic to talk about, and every woman they hate, they're just, I don't know, it's getting so crazy. I don't want to get off track, but the gender war, like we said, is just to facilitate this transhumanism. So that's why you've got all these people hating women. You've got pearly things, you've got the red pill, you've got all of these people pushing that women are not worth it, they're evil, they're lying, they're hypergamous. Oh, let me read you guys this, because this is going to be really crazy. So in my opinion, the red pill is there to spread Islam, to encourage gay lifestyle and to introduce the sex bots. And I have this picture that I clipped. So there's a website where you can get like an AI, like a fleshlight. So they send you a fleshlight, and then you log on and you make your woman,
What?
and the device corresponds to what you're doing with her online. Your AI
It's
girlfriend.
too much work.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
too much work.
I saw a Vice episode on that or something. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See,
So-
here's also the problem. Men, the truth of the matter is, once we got away from arranged marriages, right? And like, hey, you're gonna date this guy, he owns 1,000 goats. Yeah, but exactly. He owns 1,000 goats. You're gonna go date him because he has 1,000 goats. Once we took that away and gave free will, which I'm for, okay, we found that 100% of the women are fighting over 20% of the men. And even though that bottom 100% of the women should be fighting, should be happy with any percentage of the men, they don't care. They want to go after the top 20%. And then they go on the internet and TikTok and cry about how they can't meet anybody because they can't find a supermodel that will only bang them. So guys give up. Guys are giving up, and they're just ordering fleshlights that they sync up to their Facebook, and they're just getting the 5-year warranty from Best Buy, and they're just knocking the bottom out of these fucking robot holes.
And
it's
saving themselves money, and saving themselves a lot of money.
Yeah, but
Well,
like,
check
yeah,
out-
that's illusion though. But that's a whole different thing.
But don't you think that they've been psyoped into believing a lot of these things so that they go along with this?
Yeah, I mean, but unless the study isn't real, and I'm open minded to it, that 100% of the women find 80% of the men ugly.
Well, physical attractiveness is just one part of it for a woman.
Yeah,
That is something
I
that
think
you
it
can
was
really work with.
Sorry, it
And
was on
plus-
the dating apps. It was like that 80 most of the women, maybe all of the women, are targeting 20% of the men.
Yeah,
And the men are
because guys are on these hookup apps, and
Well-
like, let's say a 9 guy is banging a 5 because he's just in the mood. Now she thinks she should be getting 9s when she should be hanging out with the 5s. It's really destroyed everything, and that's, I mean, free will and everything like that. Hey, you're allowed to decide, but at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, women are lonely and guys are banging robots. We're fucked.
Well, the thing about the attractiveness is like just looking at a picture of a guy is not going to stimulate a woman like it would for a guy. And a guy who is a 5 and she's not attracted to by just looking at his picture, if she's with him face to face, is he making her laugh? Is he being kind? Is he
Right,
have
and that
virtue?
is not.
You can go from a 5 to a
social media.
9 very easily
Right.
in the eyes of a woman. Not so with man. A man will be like, she's a hard 8, and there's nothing she can say that's going to change that. But women are a lot more flexible and forgiving when it comes to physical attractiveness.
Well, because there's different things brought to the table. It's women are looking at the primal levels, are looking for resources for offspring. So Bill Gates is dating way out of his league because he has all the resources. Like look at Jeff Bezos. I mean, like, he's dating, even though his new girl has very trans looks, by the way, very trans look. Just the way it is, man. And like, I've thought about this before. Like, what is like things like, like the World Series of Poker and like the video game circuit where these guys are making so much money playing video games. What is that going to do to our gene pool? Why these like unattractive men have these giant resources and they're
Yeah.
knocking
smart.
bottoms out
those
of
guys
10.
are smart that are breeding.
No, you're right. You're right. It's crazy.
It's going to be like the two classes, like an H.G. Wells time machine. Just like the animals and the angels.
It's chaos. It's chaos.
Anyway, the last thing I want to show you, talking about this AI fleshlight. So the guy, he says, a brief message from our founder. He says, what is my side? I'm building an AI girlfriend sex bot for the average man who has been rejected by the average modern hypergamous slut.
Jesus.
98% of them rejected. And when I do that, when I say to women, that's okay. 90% of men you rejected, I'm going to save them from loneliness. So there's so much money to be made in these sex bots and into getting the genders to hate each other. I mean, that's the collapse of, and why we're going to lose World War III if, you know, men and women can't get along.
You're totally right. I'm going to stop saying repeal the 19th. I'm going to stop saying it. It's not helping. Okay. Even though
it's funny that you joke about it because it's like, I mean, you don't really mean it at all, right? Like,
I would never push for legislation, but if they did, I'd be like, wow, okay, let's see how this is going to turn out. Right. But I am joking about it. I am joking when I do that. Mostly just to upset all the female comedians just looking for reasons to yell and scream at people.
If you're trying to upset people, that's kind of counterproductive because
I'm done. I will never tweet that again.
But you know what I mean? Like, why bring this out in election year when you know that nobody has the wherewithal to actually enact these kinds of, like, get the ball rolling in any direction on this thing? Why bring it up other than to just, like, piss off people and push them? Anybody who's on the fence voting for Trump or Kamala and all these people come out like Pearl and like, take the vote away, that's just going to push the women straight to the other side.
Okay, done. You are hearing it right now.
And
I will never tweet that again.
A lot of these people have invested in tech companies that are rolling out the sex bots. So don't you think Davis Ware and all of these other like companies that are pushing that women are not good companions and you should castrate yourself, you should get a vasectomy, you should never get married, you should never have kids, just like go coom in your room alone and you know, women can just go die with their cats. So I love people. I love men in theory and practice. I love babies. I love weddings. I love love. I'm a romantic person. I want to see us all get along. I don't want to see what we're seeing, and I do not want like sex bots, and they're going to be attractive to women also because, you know, bot boy is not going to cheat on you. Bot boy's not going to bring you an STD. He's not going to leave
in Asia with AI. You hear about I think it's Japan or China, where many of them women there are in relationships with an AI because of they're getting emotional support that they're not getting from the men there.
Right.
You know,
and bot boy's going to have a vibrating penis, and he's going to be able to trade cryptos, you know, and make you money, right? So you think you're going to replace women with bots, but men are going to be replaced in the same way. And everybody's just going to be like atomized and lonely. And it's going to be like THX 1138. Have you seen that?
You're right. You're right.
So.
All right. I'm with you. It's keep banging and having kids. That's what I say. Get married, have kids, live your life, help humanity. Especially if you're smart and good looking and built like a brick shit house. Let's go. Let's go. What a crazy ass episode. It was great. Jamie, you crushed it, knocked it out of the park, blew our minds. We appreciate that. One more time, can you tell them where they can find you?
I am on YouTube, Jamie Hanshaw, and the show's called Out of This World. Don't miss my live streams. Those are the best. And I'm on Rockfin under my name also. That is the secret channel called Defense Against the Dark Arts, where we go into all of the dark occult stuff that I don't want to, you know, put out there for the public on YouTube. So if you are interested in that, go to Rockfin. And of course, Jay's Analysis and my great husband, Jay Dyer, he is on with me all the time. And we're going to be doing a stream this week about sex bot movies for Halloween, Spooktober.
I love it. You're the best. This was a great episode. Thank you for coming by. Your open door anytime you want to come on and talk. You by yourself, you with Jay, whatever. You guys have an open door policy to come on the show anytime you want. So let's break down this episode. All right, let's get into it. What'd you guys think?
I'm scared. Bot boys are going to take over me.
Bot boys, dude. Bot boys, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, we are hurling towards our children of men phase. Oh. I mean, unbelievable.
No, I remember. Well, I have a sister, and she was always into Beyonce. She's a B queen, and I remember listening to it, and I didn't care. I was like, yeah, be single, be independent, but I didn't know like what effects it ended up doing. It's bad.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I think that women are good. I think men are good. And I think social media has done a lot of damage to get us to not like each other. And these shows like Whatever and Fresh and Fit, where these OnlyFans models come on and say retard shit, and they don't care if they get beat down because their OnlyFans just explodes. It's just like not good. And the manosphere is not good. All this stuff where like women are dumb. Well, that's bad. Guess what else is bad? Hollywood, movies, sitcoms, commercials saying guys can't wipe their own ass. Don't respect your dad. I mean, I just sat with a friend of mine who said he was out at a function for his kids, and the moms were all sitting there just ripping their husbands and talking like shit. It's like, why do guys want to be a part of that?
Yeah. It's horrible. Like why, like Johnny said, why would I get married when you see all these things where they take half your stuff, you end up with no baby, you end up living at your homie's house for like the next 3 months because you got to get yourself off your feet.
Yeah.
Well, and it wasn't really appropriate to what we were talking about. What I was going to say was the reason I haven't had a kid is because, to me, I know about how powerful the hormones are that are released when you have a child, and that becomes your priority in life. And I don't want to. There are certain things I don't want to give up on yet, things that I want to do. And I'm worried that my brain's going to be re-engineered when I have a kid, and I'm going to throw away some of the dreams that I haven't achieved yet. Honestly, that's really what I think. But
Johnny, I'm going to tell you something. I'm way down the line from you. I'm 20 years, let's say, down the line from you. Those things don't mean anything. I'm just telling you, they just don't.
Okay, Sam, then here, let me ask you a question. At what age would you think it would have been a great age for you to have them at? Obviously, you never know.
So can I tell you something? I love that I have kids. I think there's something about being 47 that is like I get to enjoy. I appreciate them more. But my friends who had kids later on, their kids are all moved on, and now they're working on things that they've always wanted to do, or they're focusing back on their career. Where I'm trying to balance both right now. So
wait, you just said exactly what I'm talking about, though. I don't want to have that. Well, you're in my 30s. I don't want to be balancing. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I'm afraid. It's like,
no, I get it. But what I'm telling you is like the way Bert Kreischer now, his kids are in college, it's like he's moved on to do other things right now. He kind of got done when he was young. Right now, I'm older, but I enjoy having my kids because it gives me purpose. Whereas I feel like people my age that don't have kids are trying to stay relevant in a constantly changing world that constantly worships youth.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So, like, to me, the biggest thing kids do for you is take you out of self. And there comes a time where the phone just stops ringing. And it's not that people don't like you or they don't think that you're special. It's just your world just gets smaller and smaller. Like, I don't do as many spots as I used to. I haven't done them for years now, right? Because of COVID and all that stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care. I mean, I like going up because it's how I write. I'm working on this new process of how do I work material without getting up all the time. And when I go on the road, I feel this real need to have to put out the best. I don't know how to work new shit on the road without feeling bad about it. But the point is like, I don't care. I'm really chill. If I stay at home at night, I just watch my Jumbotron, and Dana and I watch TV shows, and I'm fucking happy. I really am, dude. It's like,
I remember.
If I was young and this was happening to me, I'd be like, fuck.
No, before you had your kids, you had FOMO. I remember you'd ask me, how was the Comedy Store? How was this? How was that? You don't give a fuck anymore about any of that.
Yeah.
It's just Godzilla and your babies.
Yep, Godzilla and the babies, dude. I love it, and it's just chill, dude. So I thought this was a great episode. She's like, are you guys mind blown? You're bored. I was loving the whole thing. It was just like, boom, boom, boom. Just nothing but bangers, dude. Dropping bombs.
All right, so which of the three of us has parasites? or we're gonna get that tested. We're gonna go get that
we should all
figured
go
out?
get it tested for sure. There's no way. I think Johnny has the least amount of parasites.
That's correct. Yeah.
Mostly because he has germophobia. He's a germ.
Yeah, that. But I mean, I remember hearing not so long ago that you expose your kids early to horse manure specifically, that it like gives them some improved immunity. And there's nobody's been rolling around in horse manure more as a kid than I was. So yeah, maybe I'm resistant to the.
Maybe you are, Johnny. Maybe you are. You're better than us for sure. All right, guys, go to SamTripoli.com. We're not going to go into it. It's been a long show. SamTripoli.com. Check out my events. Support my my special. Watch it, love it, share it, and enjoy. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe, please.
Check out Broken Samuel. It was a good one.
Oh yeah, and then we have some of our affiliate programs are having Halloween specials. Go check out the Shroom guys. They're doing special deals, 25% off. Click the link, make it happen. Rock and roll. Get that microdosing going for Halloween. And then enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
I go there and I walk in and the mothership is like just a pulsating energy.
How does it compare to what the store used to be like when it was really popping?
Well, nothing compares to the store because the store is just much bigger. It's just got a bigger place. But on Kill Tony night, it has the same energy. And what I will tell you about the mothership and 6th Street is 6th Street reminds me of the Sunset Boulevard in like 98. Right? Like
Wait,
99, 2000,
the
the Kobe Bryant Shaq years when they were winning, and Sunset was popping, dude. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like to see how Sunset is right now and how it was is insane to me. I don't know where people hang out in LA now. Hollywood's not busy like it used to be.
People don't go out. That's what it is. People don't go out. That's what happened with the COVID, dude. People don't go out anymore. So I show up. I'm the second show. The first show I think was Chris DiStefano and fucking who was the other guy? Fuck, I forget. You want me to look it up?
Joe, what the fuck is Joe last name? Joe DeRosa. Sorry, Joe. I love you.
Oh yeah, Joe DeRosa is hilarious.
Joe DeRosa. Oh, dude, a murderer.
Yeah.
He tells the best bit about trying to like hook up with this chick. It's really funny, dude. He did at Skankfest. So I think they were the first one. Joe, I'm on with Russell Peters, right? So I go there. I'm showing up. It's chaos. I know a bunch of the guys who are 10th Plant guys who work there. They like fucking get me in. I'm like, okay, like, it's like I feel like when I went to do a TV show. That's how I feel right now. Like I'm doing a TV show.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get
it's bigger
in.
than most TV shows. Yeah.
I go, 100%, dude. This thing is a fucking juggernaut, dude.
Is Brian actually producing it anymore, or is he have like a whole production staff there?
No, there's production staff, like he's producing everything on the stage.
That's cool.
Like, dude, there's a whole production. There's cameras, dude. It is chaos, dude.
But he's not like switching cameras up there, is he? Do you? I'm just curious.
No. I think there's someone who does it.
Okay, all right. That's
in the
so
back.
Cool that you've gotten to that point where that would be like me not switching cameras on tinfoil hat. I mean, can you imagine? It's
so I
up.
go in the back, dude. Gordon Ryan is hanging out there. You know who Gordon Ryan is? The super jujitsu guy, the greatest jujitsu practitioner on planet Earth is there.
Like an early UFC guy? I don't
No. He's like 27. He's winning Abu Dhabi and all that shit. He's hanging out there. There's bands in the back. There's just, I mean, it's like the craziest energy ever. I mean, it's crazy. And I go, oh, this is a big fucking deal, dude. So they're like, and like Tony's like, let me just tell you the rules here. It's real simple. I'll set you up. I'll let go. He goes, don't shit on the regulars. People love them. It probably won't go well. And just have a good time. Let me set up. Now, I also know that I like to talk. I'm a talker. And sometimes I want to talk too much. And I have to respect that this is Tony's dojo. So, the key is let Tony, who murders on this show. He murders. He crushes it.
Well, it's like they designed the show for him. I mean, it fits his skill set perfectly.
Well, you remember it started as like, hey, give these guys notes. Now it's just light them up. And they're for it. The comics are for it. They love it.
Sensitive to watch that. It hurts me to watch it.
But they're there for it.
I know, but it's just like I'm
Johnny, hand to God. Like, you go there early and you go to the mothership, you look diagonally across the street and there's a horde of people and you go, what the fuck is that? Just imagine if you went to Home Depot and there was 200 people waiting.
They're called Mexicans. They're called Mexicans, Sam.
Yeah. But here they're comics trying to get on Kill Tony.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it's like the Laugh Factory where they're just around the block.
Yeah, but imagine 200 people just hanging out, waiting to hear their name called.
That's so wild, dude.
It's so crazy. So, he sits down and tells me and Russell Peters the rules. I sit down with Russell. I love Russell Peters. So we had a great time. We connected, Russell and I, on raising kids. And so we go out, dude. And Tony gets this huge. So the band plays, the band's playing. They introduce us. We come out, and dude, the energy in the room is fucking fire, bro. It is fire. It's fire.
How big's that room?
What?
It's a huge room. It's like how big?
I'd say it's like a rock club type room.
Okay, so a
rock hall.
Oh yeah, with such a big show in a rock. Oh yeah.
Oh dude, there's people on the sides here. There's people there. There's people up there. It's like packed out.
That's great, man. That's so cool.
So I sit down and I'm like, okay, God, take the wheel. Okay, and the key for me, right, is for my Lord Jesus Christ to light me up, to give me the bullets to fucking go to fucking, get a high body count. I pray to my Lord Jesus Christ.
You're sniping, yeah.
Give this sniper bullets to fucking shoot. So the first one who comes out is Hans Kim, right? And I instantly start to realize I'm not in Kansas anymore, which is Hollywood comedy. He's got a minute. Within 30 seconds, he's doing jokes. Can you write that down?
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/SamTripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.